Hey gorgeous souls, I'm David. And I'm about to tell you the most satisfying family inheritance revenge story that turned my greedy brother-in-law's smugness at my father's funeral into the moment he realized he'd lost everything and how my dad's secret final will destroy an entire family's theft plan. When my brother-in-law Kevin announced at my father's funeral that my wife Lisa would inherit dad's $3 million estate instead of me, he thought he'd successfully manipulated a dying old man. What Kevin didn't know was that my father had secretly changed his will 3 days before his death, leaving everything to me while specifically disinheriting Lisa for her greed and Kevin for his manipulation, and I had video evidence of their entire conspiracy. But here's where this inheritance revenge gets absolutely insane. Kevin and Lisa hadn't just been planning to steal my inheritance. They'd been slowly poisoning my relationship with my father for 2 years while Lisa pretended to be the devoted daughter-in-law. Also, they could manipulate him into changing his will. When I revealed the secret recording my father made exposing their scheme, Kevin lost his job, Lisa lost her marriage, and they both lost the $3 million they thought they'd stolen. This story has everything: funeral manipulation, inheritance theft, family conspiracy, secret recordings, and the kind of estate justice that turned a brother-in-law's greed into his complete destruction. Y'all ready for this inheritance disaster? Because this is how one funeral announcement became the most expensive mistake my family ever made. Beautiful souls, let me take you back to 2 years ago, when my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I thought my wife Lisa was being the perfect daughter-in-law, completely unaware that she and her brother were plotting to steal my inheritance. I'm David Thompson, 38 years old, and I work as a civil engineer while caring for my elderly father Robert Thompson, a retired business owner who'd built a successful construction company worth $3 million. My wife Lisa Thompson, 35, had always seemed loving and supportive, especially during my father's illness, when she volunteered to help with his care and medical appointments. Lisa is such a blessing during this difficult time, my father would tell me. She's so attentive and caring about my health and comfort. Lisa's brother Kevin Walsh, 40, was a financial advisor who had recently started helping my father with estate planning and investment management. Kevin understands finances better than I do, my father said when he began consulting with Kevin about his affairs. It's smart to get professional advice about estate planning. I've been grateful for their help because managing my father's care while working full-time was exhausting and emotionally draining. Having Lisa and Kevin handle Dad's daily needs gives me peace of mind. I thought while focusing on my engineering career and spending quality time with my father. My father had always been clear that I would inherit his estate as his only child, though he'd never been specific about the exact amount or timing. Everything I've built will be yours someday, my father had told me throughout my life. You're my legacy and my greatest achievement. Lisa seemed genuinely supportive of this arrangement and often talked about how we'd use the inheritance to secure our family's future. Over the 18 months of my father's illness, I began noticing subtle changes in family relationships that I attributed to the stress of caring for a dying parent. Lisa started spending more time at my father's house, often staying there for entire days while I was at work. Your father needs constant companionship, Lisa would explain her increased presence. I don't want him to feel alone during his treatment. Kevin also became a regular presence, visiting several times per week to discuss financial matters and estate planning with my father. Robert needs help managing his investments during his illness, Kevin would tell me. I'm making sure his affairs are properly organized. My father began making comments about Lisa's devotion and Kevin's helpfulness that seemed to compare their efforts to my own contributions. Lisa spends so much time taking care of me, my father would say. She's more dedicated than some actual daughters. Kevin has been invaluable in organizing my financial affairs, my father would praise. I don't know what I'd do without his expertise. I started feeling like an outsider in my own family as Lisa and Kevin became my father's primary caregivers and advisors. Maybe I should be doing more, I thought, while working long hours to maintain our financial stability during Dad's expensive medical treatment. Lisa and Kevin often had private conversations with my father about his care and finances that excluded me from important family decisions. We don't want to burden David with every little detail, Lisa would explain when I asked about their private discussions. About 6 months before my father's death, inheritance became a frequent topic of conversation that seemed to favor Lisa and Kevin over me. Lisa has sacrificed so much to care for Robert, Kevin would tell my father. Her devotion should be recognized and rewarded. David is busy with his career, while Lisa handles the real family responsibilities. Kevin continued his subtle manipulation. My father began questioning whether I truly appreciated his legacy and the sacrifices he'd made to build his wealth. Some children take their parents' success for granted. My father would say during our visits, they assume inheritance is automatic without earning it. Lisa understands the value of family loyalty. My father would contrast her behavior with mine. She puts family before personal ambition. Kevin suggested that my father should consider dividing his estate to reward Lisa's dedication and ensure family harmony. Robert, you should think about recognizing everyone who's contributed to your care. Kevin advised, Lisa has been like a daughter to you. Modern families often include in-laws in estate planning. Kevin continued his pressure. It's a way to strengthen family bonds. I was concerned about these conversations, but trusted that my father's final decisions would reflect our lifelong relationship. Dad has always said I would inherit everything, I thought. He's just grateful for Lisa's help during his illness. Looking back, Kevin and Lisa were systematically manipulating my father's perception of family loyalty while I focused on work and assumed our relationship was secure. Gorgeous souls. My father's funeral became the stage for Kevin's most arrogant moment, when he publicly announced that Lisa would inherit the estate, not knowing that my father had anticipated their manipulation and planned the perfect revenge. During the reception after my father's funeral, Kevin approached me with several family members present and made his devastating announcement. David, there's something important you need to know about your father's final wishes, Kevin said. With obvious satisfaction, your father changed his will during his final weeks. Kevin announced loudly enough for relatives to hear. He decided to leave his estate to Lisa instead of you. Robert felt that Lisa's dedication during his illness demonstrated true family love. Kevin explained the supposed reasoning behind the will change. Your father believed that inheritance should reward caregiving rather than just blood relationship. Kevin continued his public humiliation. Family members looked shocked and uncomfortable as Kevin detailed how Lisa would inherit my father's $3 million estate. Lisa will inherit the house, the business, and all financial assets. Kevin outlined the complete transfer of wealth away from me. Your father felt this arrangement would better honor Lisa's sacrifice and devotion. Kevin justified the inheritance theft with false moral arguments. Lisa stood beside Kevin, trying to look sad and surprised while clearly pleased about inheriting millions. That should have been mine. I never expected this, Lisa said with fake humility. Your father was so generous to include me in his final wishes. Robert saw Lisa as a daughter he never had. Kevin continued the manipulation. She earned this inheritance through love and dedication. Several family members expressed shock and disappointment about my father's supposed decision to disinherit his only child. This doesn't seem like Robert, my uncle said quietly. He always talked about leaving everything to David. Something feels wrong about the situation. My aunt whispered to other relatives. Robert loved David more than anything, Kevin and Lisa dismissed family concerns by emphasizing my supposed neglect during my father's illness. David was too busy with work to provide the care Robert needed, Kevin told questioning relatives. Lisa sacrificed her own career to take care of Robert full-time. Kevin contrasted our contributions falsely. Some family members began treating me with pity and disappointment, believing I'd failed my dying father. David should have spent more time with Robert. I heard relatives discussing my supposed shortcomings. Lisa was the real daughter in this family. Others accepted Kevin's narrative about deserved inheritance. The funeral reception became a public trial, where I was judged for allegedly neglecting my father while Lisa was praised for stealing my inheritance. I can't believe Dad really changed his will, I thought while processing the devastating announcement. Kevin and Lisa's confidence suggested they had legal documentation supporting their claims about the inheritance transfer. Kevin immediately began asserting legal control over my father's estate, claiming authority as Lisa's representative and financial advisor. As the beneficiary's financial advisor, I'll be managing the estate transition. Kevin announced his role in controlling the inherited wealth. David, you'll need to vacate Robert's house within 30 days. Kevin gave me eviction notice from my childhood home. All business assets and financial accounts are now under Lisa's control. Kevin outlined the complete transfer of my father's wealth. Kevin also threatened legal action if I challenged the will or attempted to claim any portion of the estate. Any attempt to contest Robert's final wishes will result in expensive litigation. Kevin warned about the costs of challenging the inheritance. Lisa is prepared to defend her rightful inheritance against any family disputes. Kevin positioned my potential legal challenge as greed rather than justice. Lisa began making plans for the inherited money, discussing expensive purchases and lifestyle changes that demonstrated her excitement about the windfall. We can finally afford the house we've always wanted, Lisa told Kevin about their plans. For my father's money, this inheritance will change our entire future. Lisa celebrated while I grieved my father's death and processed the loss of my expected inheritance. Kevin and Lisa's behavior at the funeral showed no respect for my grief or my lifelong relationship with my father. They're celebrating my father's death because it made them rich. I realized the cruel nature of their manipulation. Their arrogance and public humiliation motivated me to investigate whether my father had really intended to disinherit me completely. Beautiful souls. Searching through my father's personal papers led me to discover that he'd been secretly documenting Kevin and Lisa's manipulation while preparing a final will that would destroy their inheritance theft. While cleaning out my father's home office before Kevin's forced eviction deadline, I discovered a hidden safe that contained documents Kevin and Lisa knew nothing about. Dad always kept his most important papers in the wall safe, I remembered. While searching for financial records and personal documents, the safe contained multiple versions of my father's will, including a final version dated just 3 days before his death. This will is different from the one Kevin presented. I realized while comparing the documents, Dad changed his mind again after Kevin thought he manipulated him. The secret final will restored me as a sole beneficiary, while specifically disinheriting Lisa for greed and manipulation of a dying man. To Kevin Walsh and Lisa Thompson, you receive nothing due to your calculated attempt to steal my son's inheritance through deception. The will stated explicitly, David Thompson inherits my entire estate as my beloved son who worked hard. While others schemed to steal his birthright, my father's final will vindicated my character. The secret will was properly witnessed and notarized, making it legally superior to any previous versions that Kevin and Lisa possessed. This will is dated after the one Kevin showed at the funeral. I confirmed the legal priority of my father's final decision. The discovery proved that my father had seen through Kevin and Lisa's manipulation and taken steps to protect my inheritance. The safe also contained a USB drive with video recordings my father had made during his final weeks, documenting Kevin and Lisa's inheritance manipulation. If you're watching this, David, it means Kevin and Lisa tried to steal your inheritance. My father's video message began. I've been secretly recording their conversations about manipulating me to change my will. The video explained his evidence-gathering strategy. The recordings show Kevin and Lisa discussing their plan to isolate me from my father, while positioning Lisa as a devoted daughter-in-law. Robert is starting to question David's commitment, Lisa said in one recording. We need to emphasize how much I've sacrificed for his care. If we can get Robert to change his will before he dies, we'll inherit millions, Kevin replied, clearly outlining their theft conspiracy. David works too much to notice what we're doing, Lisa added. By the time he realizes what happened, it'll be too late to change anything. The video evidence proved that Kevin and Lisa have been systematically manipulating my father, while pretending to provide care and support. They thought I was too sick to understand their scheme, my father said in his recording. But I've been documenting everything to protect you. Kevin and Lisa are thieves who use my illness to try to steal your birthright. My father's message confirmed their criminal intent. The recorded evidence would not only restore my inheritance, but also provide grounds for criminal charges against Kevin and Lisa. I immediately contacted my father's estate attorney with a secret will and video evidence revealing Kevin and Lisa's inheritance fraud. This final will supersedes any previous versions. The attorney confirmed after reviewing the documents, your father's last wishes are legally binding. The video evidence shows clear fraud and undue influence. The attorney explained the criminal implications of Kevin and Lisa's actions. Kevin and Lisa could face charges for elder abuse and attempted theft through fraud. The legal consequences extended beyond losing the inheritance. The attorney advised filing the secret will immediately while preparing criminal complaints against Kevin and Lisa for their manipulation scheme. We need to act quickly before they spend or transfer any estate assets. The attorney warned about protecting the inheritance during legal proceedings. The video recordings provide irrefutable evidence of their conspiracy. The attorney confirmed the strength of our case. I also learned that Kevin had been pressuring my father to sign financial documents that would have given him control over estate assets even before my father's death. Kevin tried to get power of attorney over your father's accounts. The attorney discovered additional evidence of financial manipulation. This shows a pattern of systematic financial abuse of an elderly person. The legal case against Kevin and Lisa was becoming stronger. The secret will and video evidence guaranteed not only my inheritance victory, but also Kevin and Lisa's complete destruction. Gorgeous souls! The formal will reading became the most dramatic family confrontation when I revealed my father's secret final will and played the video recordings that exposed Kevin and Lisa's entire theft conspiracy. The estate attorney scheduled a formal will reading with all interested parties, including Kevin, Lisa, and several family members who had witnessed Kevin's funeral announcement. We're here to read Robert Thompson's final will and testament. The attorney announced to the assembled family. Kevin and Lisa attended confidently, expecting the attorney to confirm the will that supposedly left everything to Lisa. This is just a formality, Kevin told Lisa quietly. Robert's wishes are already clear. I can't wait to start planning how we'll use the inheritance, Lisa whispered back, showing no respect for my father's memory. Family members who had questioned the inheritance change attended, hoping to understand my father's final decisions. Something didn't feel right about Robert's supposed will change. My uncle said privately, this reading might provide clarity. I sat quietly with the attorney, knowing that Kevin and Lisa were about to experience the shock of their lives. David seemed surprisingly calm for someone who's been disinherited, Kevin observed suspiciously. The attorney began by explaining that multiple will versions had been discovered, requiring careful legal review to determine my father's final wishes. When multiple wills exist, we must identify the most recent legally valid document. The attorney explained the process. The attorney revealed that my father had created a final will just 3 days before his death, superseding all previous versions. Robert Thompson's final will, dated 3 days before his death, represents his ultimate wishes. The attorney announced. Kevin and Lisa's confidence immediately shifted to panic as they realized their version might not be the final word. That's impossible, Kevin said desperately. Robert was too sick to make legal decisions during his final days. The final will was properly witnessed and notarized. The attorney confirmed its legal validity. David Thompson inherits the entire estate valued at approximately $3 million. The attorney read my father's final decision. Kevin Walsh and Lisa Thompson are specifically disinherited for attempting to manipulate a dying man. The attorney continued reading the devastating language. Kevin and Lisa sat in shocked silence as they realized their inheritance theft had failed completely. This can't be real, Lisa said weakly. Robert loved me like a daughter. He wouldn't disinherit me. Your father discovered your manipulation scheme, I told them calmly. He protected my inheritance from your theft. Family members looked relieved that my father's final wishes aligned with their expectations and moral sense of justice. The attorney then played excerpts from my father's secret video recordings, exposing Kevin and Lisa's conspiracy to the entire family. I've been recording Kevin and Lisa's conversations about stealing David's inheritance. My father's voice explained his evidence gathering. The family watched in horror as the recordings revealed Kevin and Lisa plotting to manipulate my dying father. Robert is questioning David's commitment, Lisa's voice said clearly. We need to convince him that I'm more deserving. If we can get the will changed, we'll inherit millions. Kevin's voice confirmed their theft conspiracy. David works too much to notice our manipulation. Lisa's voice showed her complete lack of respect for our marriage. Family members were disgusted by the evidence of Kevin and Lisa's calculated deception and greed. "I can't believe you manipulated a dying man," my aunt said to Lisa with obvious revulsion. "You used Robert's illness to try to steal from his own son," my uncle added with anger directed at Kevin. Kevin and Lisa tried desperately to defend their actions, but the video evidence was undeniable and comprehensive. "We were just trying to help Robert make fair decisions," Kevin claimed weakly. "The recordings show you conspiring to steal David's inheritance," the attorney pointed out. "Your own words condemn you," the attorney announced that criminal charges would be filed against Kevin and Lisa for elder abuse and attempted theft through fraud. The evidence supports charges of financial elder abuse and conspiracy to commit theft. The attorney explained their legal exposure. Kevin and Lisa could face significant prison time for their crimes against Robert. The criminal consequences were serious. Lisa's betrayal of our marriage became public knowledge as family members learned about her inheritance theft conspiracy. Lisa conspired against her own husband. Relatives expressed shock about her marital betrayal. "I trusted you completely," I told Lisa in front of everyone. "You were planning to steal my father's legacy while pretending to love me." Kevin's financial advisory business faced immediate scrutiny as word spread about his involvement in elder abuse and inheritance fraud. "No client will trust a financial advisor who manipulates elderly people." Industry contacts quickly distanced themselves from Kevin. Kevin's professional license will be revoked for ethics violations. Regulatory authorities began investigating his conduct. Family members completely ostracized Kevin and Lisa, cutting all social and financial ties with them permanently. "You're not welcome at family gatherings," relatives told them clearly. "What you did to Robert and David is unforgivable." The will reading transformed Kevin and Lisa from confident inheritors to exposed criminals, facing legal prosecution and social exile. Gorgeous souls. Kevin and Lisa's prosecution for elder abuse became a high-profile case that sent them both to prison while I used my restored inheritance to honor my father's memory and build a foundation that protects elderly people from financial manipulation. Kevin and Lisa were both charged with elder abuse, conspiracy to commit theft, and fraud based on the video evidence and their systematic manipulation of my dying father. The defendants exploited Robert Thompson's terminal illness to manipulate him into changing his will. Prosecutors outline their crimes clearly. Video evidence shows them conspiring to steal the victim's son's inheritance through calculated deception. The case was overwhelming with documented proof. Kevin was convicted on all charges and sentenced to 4 years in state prison plus restitution. Kevin Walsh abused his position as a financial advisor to manipulate a vulnerable elderly client. The judge noted his professional betrayal. Lisa was convicted of elder abuse and conspiracy, receiving 3 years in prison plus mandatory counseling. Lisa Thompson betrayed her husband and manipulated her father-in-law during his final illness. The judge highlighted her moral failures. "Your crimes violated the trust of a dying man and attempted to destroy a family," the judge told them during sentencing. The criminal convictions made national news as an example of how financial professionals and family members can exploit elderly people. Thompson case shows how elder abuse can happen in any family. Headlines highlighted the broader implications. Kevin's financial advisory license was permanently revoked, ending his career and professional reputation. Elder abuse convictions disqualify advisors from handling client funds. Regulatory authorities explained his permanent ban. Lisa's betrayal and criminal conviction ended our marriage immediately, with divorce proceedings favoring me completely. Lisa's conspiracy against her husband's inheritance constitutes marital fraud. Divorce court ruled in my favor. The video evidence shows Lisa's systematic deception and betrayal throughout the marriage. I received favorable settlement terms. Lisa was ordered to pay my legal fees and received no spousal support. Due to her criminal behavior, criminal spouses who betray their partners forfeit rights to marital support. The court explained her complete loss. Lisa's conviction also cost her job as a school administrator when background checks revealed her elder abuse record. Educational institutions cannot employ people convicted of abusing vulnerable adults. Her employer terminated her immediately. Lisa's reputation in our community was destroyed permanently by her criminal conviction and moral betrayal. No one trusts Lisa anymore. Former friends explain their decision to cut contact. She's a proven manipulator and thief. The divorce gave me complete freedom to rebuild my life while Lisa faced prison time and social exile. I used my restored $3 million inheritance to honor my father's memory by establishing the Robert Thompson Foundation for Elder Protection. Dad would want his money used to protect other elderly people. From what Kevin and Lisa tried to do to him, I decided about the foundation's mission. The Robert Thompson Foundation provides legal assistance to elderly people facing financial manipulation. Our mission statement honored his memory. I also expanded my father's construction business, growing it into a regional company that employs 50 people and generates $10 million annually. Robert Thompson Construction continues his legacy of building strong communities, business expansion, honored his entrepreneurial spirit. The foundation has helped prosecute 12 cases of elder financial abuse and recovered over $2 million for elderly victims. David Thompson turned his inheritance into a force for protecting vulnerable people. Community leaders praised the foundation's impact. My father's money became a tool for justice rather than just personal wealth, creating lasting positive change. Robert would be proud that his death exposed criminals and protected other families. I reflected on the broader impact. Today, Kevin and Lisa serve prison time while I run a successful business and foundation that protects elderly people from financial predators. My father's secret planning turned their greed into evidence that sent them to prison. I learned about the power of preparation and documentation. Kevin and Lisa thought they've manipulated a dying old man, but he outsmarted them completely while protecting his son's future. Never underestimate elderly people's wisdom and ability to see. Through manipulation, my father proved that age doesn't mean vulnerability. The inheritance theft attempt ultimately strengthened my father's legacy and created opportunities to help other families avoid similar betrayal. Sometimes criminals create the very evidence needed to destroy them. Kevin and Lisa's own words condemned them completely. Trust your instincts about family members who suddenly become overly helpful. During inheritance situations, gorgeous souls, document everything, protect elderly relatives from manipulation. And remember that genuine love doesn't require changing wills to prove devotion. And gorgeous souls, if this story resonated with you, if you faced inheritance theft or family manipulation, remember that truth and preparation can defeat even the most calculated schemes. If you want to hear more stories like this, more tales of inheritance justice, family betrayal consequences, and elder protection, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Your support means everything to me. Beautiful souls, every like, every comment, every share helps me reach more people who need to hear these stories. So smash that subscribe button. Leave me a comment about your own experiences with inheritance drama and family betrayal. And let's build a community of people who protect elderly family members from financial predators. I'll see you gorgeous souls in the next story. And remember, never let greedy family members manipulate elderly relatives. Document suspicious behavior. And always trust that love and loyalty will triumph over theft and deception.